Hello everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening for another segment of Partnering Pedagogies. I'm your host Emily Bennett. Tonight's topic is inquiry-based learning. Tonight's guest speaker is Courtney Friday. Ms. Friday, please fill us in on what inquiry-based learning is.
Thank you for having me. Inquiry-based learning is basically we start by posing questions, problems or scenarios rather than presenting facts. There is much potential to increase intellectual engagement and foster deep understanding through developing hands-on, minds-on and research-based disposition towards teaching and learning. Miss Bennett, the whole purpose of this method is to get teachers to teach as engaged learners and researchers with the foundational belief that the tropics they teach are rich, living and generous places for wonder and exploration. Teachers want to get students to strive for deep discipline-based ways of thinking.
Thank you, Ms. Friday. Next, let us listen to fellow teacher Patrick Brennan and how he feels about inquiry-based learning.
What excites you most about the inquiry-based model of learning?
Well, I suppose it's the fact that I'm always learning myself with the students, and I'm always being surprised. Everything is new, and it's allowing the students to be engaged in learning by giving them the freedom to pursue their own ideas and interests.
Thank you, Mr. Brennan, for sharing your thoughts with us. Next, let's turn to Mrs. Coretta Smith. Mrs. Smith, can you and your students share with us what their role is in this inquiry-based learning method?
Thank you, Emily. Yes, my students love it when I take the inquiry-based learning approach. Students view themselves as learners in the process of learning.
We look forward to learning. We want to learn more. We seek to collaborate and work cooperatively with our teacher and peers.
Students accept an invitation to learn and willingly engage in an exploration process.
We exhibit curiosity and ponder observations. We move around, selecting and using our needed materials. We confer with our teacher and classmates about our observations and ideas.
Students raise questions. They plan and carry out learning activities.
We value and apply questions as an important part of learning.
We design ways to try out our own ideas. We don't always expect to be told what to do. We sort out information and decide what is important.
Well, there you have it. The students love this method of teaching.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith. Next, let's take a look at how science teacher Ian Schwartz incorporates the inquiry-based learning with his students.
When we actually go down to the creek, it's an exciting day for the kids. We've talked up the idea that we're really in an outdoor classroom. Let's find a spot and let's sit down and start working on our physical survey of the area, everybody. So you'll work on your map first. Suddenly they're looking at it through a different lens. They're looking at it through a lens as a place where we're now going to be doing some sampling and some scientific thinking. If the water appears clear, is it clean? And then if it's not clean, what does that mean?
Now, I would not be doing my job if I did not tell you about the advantages and disadvantages to using the inquiry-based learning method. Let's listen to Mrs. Morrison as she explains to us.
Yes, such advantages would be flexible and adaptable for a variety of projects, helps to build self-esteem through allowing students to be more active in their own learning process rather than passive via traditional lecture methods. It reinforces and builds several skills of students in the areas of physical, emotional, and cognitive. It can work with any age group.
Disadvantages. Doesn't work for all science topics, requires more planning, preparation, and responsiveness from the educators. Educators must be skilled in helping students learn the art of asking a good question, requires more class time.
We apologize for the technical difficulty. Technology is great when it works. Thank you, Mrs. Morrison. Let's listen now to fellow teacher, Mr. Jerry Harrison, on what research has to say about the inquiry-based learning method.
Yes, research shows that IBL-based classrooms in the teaching and learning of science produced students who were better able to perform tasks, investigate questions, classify, arrange, draw, label and describe. Research also shows that students become more creative, more positive and more independent. This is true for all students, including those with special needs who require more individual attention during the process.
Thank you, Mr. Harrison. Now, let's listen to what Ms. Kathy, a teacher's point of view is on starting inquiry-based learning in her classroom.
It was a bit hard at first sitting at tables because some kids just don't do as well as others. So we had to teach working in groups. What is a good group worker? What strategies could you use to become a better group worker, and physically teach those lessons. So that's how we start our year now, by teaching what is a good group worker. But it's amazing because all the way through now, the kids it's just natural for them. And the children that are not maybe doing their job have all these other kids that are saying, hey, like, get to work, or hey, we need your ideas, or it's fantastic.
Remember, we want to develop problem-solving abilities and develop skills for lifelong learning.
This concludes this week's segment. Thank you for tuning in. For more information, please visit my blog or web page. Good night.
Always remember, keep calm and educate on.